JazzCast Pros.
Welcome back to Beauty Boss Millionaire. I'm your host, Felicia Fracassi, and today we're going to be talking about how to build up your business, how to survive this recession, how to overcome this, and just to provide support for entrepreneurs like myself who are in the process of navigating through a recession.
Thank you for tuning in to the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast with Felicia Fracassi. Her mission is to empower you with short, on-the-go business tips and advice to help you successfully start and run your company like a boss. And now, here's your host, Beauty Boss Millionaire, Felicia Fracassi.
Is it a bad idea to start a business during a recession? The answer to that is yes or no. Yes, if you are willing to work hard. See, I feel like right there I just lost like half the people. People say they're willing to work hard until they really understand, like, I'm crazy. And it's a good crazy. I am going to be that person up working. Right now, I'm not going to tell you what time it is, but it's really late. You know what? I took the time out to do this after I got out of work managing another store, feeding a baby, taking 2 children to the mall because they wanted to go shopping, managing my finances, checking on multiple stores. Then I get home and I say, you know what? I have to still give something to the people. Oh, by the way, I also have church in the morning. Now you see what I'm talking about. Most people don't have this type of energy. They don't care to have this. They don't care to do anything. And this is why I now can say why I see that some people that are really wealthy, they get so frustrated because once you reach that level of wealth like I have, and that sounds so stuck up, but I'm just being honest. Once people reach a certain level of wealth and they look back and they're like, well, wow, everybody could do this, can't they? And they look back and they're like, wait a minute. This person doesn't know how to speak up for themselves. They don't open their mouths. They don't post. They don't go wake up in the morning early. Use their energy. When you want to lose weight, you're motivated to go the extra mile. It's like, the people that really want to lose weight, they're literally counting calories. They're planning out their meals, they're meal prepping. And it's the same thing with business. If you want to be successful in any business, let alone a recession, here's some things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to plan, prep, and execute. And you're going to have to look at everything, be observant. That's why some people they don't have the juice. I hate to say it, but they just don't have it. I remember Jay-Z made this crazy lyric in the song one time, and he said, half of y'all not going to make it. He said that. Half of y'all are not, and I'm not saying that, and I hate to be so discouraging, but it's the truth. So many people, they don't know what they're doing. They're spending and not even watching. They're not even watching their accounts. They don't have any idea of how to really be a hustler. And being a hustler is that the hustle don't stop. I wake up every day thinking, okay, how can I flip this money? I wake up every day. I wake up checking my bank account. First of all, I pray first and I read my word and then I check my account because I'm not to the point where I'm obsessively. Some people get obsessive in business and they forget who they are because of money. But for me, I wake up, I say a prayer, check on my family, my baby, and check my account, see how we're doing, and then I go from there. Some people they worship money. I don't worship money. Money to me it means nothing sometimes. You know why? Because I have a Father in heaven that owns all currency in his hands. All currency. This is all paper to him. It's like monopoly money to see what we're going to do with it when we get it. Are we going to act a fool? What are we going to do for this paper? Are we going to kill people? What are we going to do? Are we going to be dishonest? But at the same time, he also rewards those that are good stewards over the money. If you look in the Bible so many times, he had a parable and he gave everyone a talent. One person went and hid it. The other person brought it back to him the same amount. One actually went and multiplied the money and came back with more money. He said, good and well, my faithful servant, enter into the joy of the Lord. And it's so crazy to me because a lot of times people that are Christians or faith believers, they don't think that they're even worthy of having a business when the scripture has told us so many times again and again, I want you to be prosperous. His desire is for us to be prosperous. He doesn't want us to be Christians and lacking and having nothing. He wants us to be business owners and leaders and people that, you know why? Because when you have a business, you can now help someone else out in need. You can now help and give to the homeless, give to the needy without feeling it. You can now give back to a cause and charity, a nonprofit. You can be the nonprofit. You can help that. You don't have to be on the other end where you're just receiving from someone, receiving from the government, receiving from, I see people my whole life receive government funds and not even give anything back. And I've been yet just the opposite. My tax bills are too high. I hate looking at them because you know what? I'm giving back to those in need in that aspect. And then I'm also giving back in my local church and communities. And then I do other things that I just like to do in my spare time to help others in need that can't help themselves because I just believe that's the right thing to do and the way you should live your life. I'm not perfect, but I do my best because I know that there's a man above watching me that knows that he can trust me with a certain amount of dollars to be a blessing to other people if needed. So let's go back to this. You got to be a hustler, all right? A hustler is not a bad term. A lot of times people get all nervous and worked up when they heard the word hustler because it's associated with drugs. No. When we say a hustler, it means a hardworking person that can generate energy around them. They can generate wealth. They can generate things that happen, ideas. They not only generate them, but they execute them. That's the beauty of a hustler. They're going to figure out how to open their mouth, go places, knock on doors, do research, and figure out how to get it popping. That's really what a hustler and an entrepreneur is. I've always said, if you are a true called entrepreneur and hustler, you're going to have all the juice. And some people, they're born with it. Me, I think I was born with it. And then I got really good when I started really studying it. Every day I would just see something. I'm like, oh, I would teach myself a lesson. But some people don't even see the lesson. They just think it's a normal thing. I've taught myself so much on watching other people. Like when I buy something, how can I maximize off the thing that I'm buying? Can I produce revenue off the thing that I'm buying? That's how your mind has to think constantly. And you have to also remember, in a recession, we have to cut our expenses down so we can figure out how to still be productive. And just on a personal note, this is all for my ladies that love to, get their hair done at $200-$300 a pop, $400, $500, $600. They get their nails done $100, $200, and their lashes. Look, this is my business, but sometimes you might have to tone it down. This is what I do for a living. And look at me. I'm telling you the truth. But if you support the business you do, there's some people that they're not worried. They have enough to do that. Those are the people keep on coming to our businesses. Support us. But if you're in a situation, and like I said, beauty is recession proof. But if you're a person where your income is slowing down, it's time to draw back. And I actually had this conversation with someone out of Atlanta literally 2 weeks ago. They said, oh my God, my credit got messed up. I was doing Toro. I was doing good. And then all of a sudden people stopped renting cars. My credit got messed up. My rent went up. I have to be out of this house in 15 days. It's a lot of people going through the same thing. It's no judgment zone. A lot of people are going through the same thing. They've taken out a lot of loans, investments, and sometimes things change. The economy has changed. People aren't traveling as much. They're staying home. They're not really renting as much. They may not be doing Airbnbs. Speaking of that, a lot of my Airbnbs I turned into long-term rentals for the recession. I don't want the people, because I noticed that people were canceling, but I knew what was going to happen. So I converted all my Airbnbs into long-term rentals because I wanted that sustainable monthly income. It might not be as much as what you're used to getting, but guess what? They're still going to come and support. And it might not be it might not be extra $3,000 or $2,000 or even $1,500 a month. It might just be $500 extra a month. But hey, it's better than nothing. But my point is that it's time to reduce our expenses, figure out what is the smartest course of action by creating a plan. Like, for example, I know I have some investments that are a little shaky. So to stabilize those, there's things I did in place so they're not as shaky. Or I know a guy right now who is a multimillionaire. He decided to sell all his assets and just be liquid. And then I think he bought gold instead. And that's another thing, is you can always buy gold. Gold is not meant to get rich off quick. It's really just to create a hedge of protection of your current wealth. And anyone knows from years and years ago, centuries ago, gold is always something that people could rely on. I'm not talking about gold necklaces, jewelry. I'm talking about gold coins, gold, pieces of silver and gold, things like that, because it helps hold monetary value better. Because right now there's a big, huge exchange of wealth that's going to happen. And unfortunately, if you're not prepared, that could be your wealth in someone else's hands. And we need to really, really look over what we're doing and protect ourselves, protect our business, and protect our family. More up next on Beauty Boss Millionaire.
Hey, if you like this episode, check out Getting Real with Bossy, where we chat about what it's like to be a woman business owner.
You'll hear interviews with women who are doing what it takes to succeed and the reality of what that looks like.
We cover all the topics, figuring out the rules and regulations, navigating business partnerships,
even if that's your spouse, motherhood while running a business, working within your values,
and all the ups and downs of being the boss.
Are you ready to get real? Pop over to our podcast,
Getting Real with Bossy,